all going to engage in a bit of witchcraft. We've all distributed, well, me and my partner, Alex here, gorgeous Alex, have all distributed napkins to each and every one of you, I believe. In case we missed someone, let me know. Missed someone? Okay. Do we have more napkins that aren't drenched in champagne?
Yes.
All right. We're starting off with a small activity here.
Anyone else? Please napkin.
Okay. All good?
Yes.
Starting off with a small activity, each and every one of you are going to use your napkins to write down a single, maybe two or three words, no more than 3 words, write down what you most desire in life at this very moment. It could be a place, maybe you want to move to Germany or France or Bali. Maybe you want a specific lover in your life, write down their name. Maybe you want a new job, a new car, whatever it is. Write it down on your napkin, something that is easy to write, not a whole paragraph. And I want you to pass around that marker so everyone can write it down as I'm talking.
One thing.
Yes? A few things before we begin. I'm going to require a lot of audience participation for this talk. So feel free to jump in, ask questions, make comments, throw tomatoes, whatever you care to do. I'm open to any and all input and feedback. All right. Yeah? Sorry? One thing. Just keep it simple though. No more than 2 or 3 words. All right, so as Owen is being so kind as to distribute more pens, thank you for that. All right, so as Owen stated, my name is Billie Bryan. I commonly go by B, or if you're referring to me as my witch side, I'm Amidst. Yes, I'm an actual witch. Has anyone here heard of me? No? Good, okay. I did have something of a reputation here in Ireland a few years ago, so I'm glad this kind of died down since then. But don't Google me. But on top of all the things Owen listed off, I am a hermetic witch. I do tarot readings, I do shadow work, I do sex magic, and a bit of chaos magic as well. So I dabble in all those different fields as well as many others that we don't have time to cover right now. But I'm here to talk to you specifically tonight about chaos magic. And there go my slides. Speaking of chaos, just a moment, bear with me. Okay. Also, my computer's on its last legs, much like Owen's. So, all right. Why it's not showing up? There we go. Okay. So we're starting with the chaos magic activity. I promise you we'll come back to the napkins and the markers in a moment. But for now, just write down your greatest desires, no more than 2 or 3 words. All right. So again, Amidst, my pronouns are she, her. I will say this is a somewhat unplanned talk. I did have notes prepared, I had a structure prepared, decided to throw it all out the window in favor of keeping with the theme, chaos. It's also maybe my 2nd or 3rd time talking about anything involving witchcraft or the occult. I'm used to speaking about politics or legal things involving the Caribbean and the UK, blah, blah, blah. That's what I do in my professional life, working with my nonprofit. But I am thrilled to be on stage in front of all of you talking about my favorite topic, witchcraft. So I think I've already spoken about me, so we can skip that part. Right. Famous quote from the renowned occultist Dion Fortune, magic. Is anyone here familiar with magic? Okay. As she so eloquently put it, the art and science of causing change in consciousness in accordance with will. So it's a really eloquent way of saying, I want to tap into the forces unknown surrounding me in the universe, in my personal life, or what have you, to achieve my ends, to achieve my goals, to manifest something in my own life, or attain something that I have yet to attain, fulfill my desires. That's where magic comes into play. Does anyone here identify as a witch or a mystic or a cultist, spiritual practitioner? You do tarot? No one? Oh, okay. So you're a little bit? Yeah, what do you do? Oh, come
I sometimes read tarot.
on. Tarot reader right here. Perfect. See me after the show. Okay. Perfect. Well, let me indoctrinate you all a little bit. So yes, witches are very much real. I'm standing before you right now, so that's proof of that. When it comes to chaos magic in particular, though, it's not my forte. I'm Hermetic witch, so I follow the teachings of one Hermes Trismegistus. This belief system I adhere to is called Hermeticism or Hermetism. Goes all the way back 3,000 years plus to ancient Egypt. These teachings originate from the deity Thought or Thoth, depending on who you ask. So they're of African origin. And I'm going to speak a little bit about myself because I think it's important to know who's talking to you and to know a little bit about my background, what I'm bringing to the table here today, before we delve into the specifics here. So I've only really publicly identified as a witch for maybe the past 5 or 6 years. My story when it comes to chaos magic is very personal, very intimate. I will share a little bit of it with you today. It's a long story, so we don't have much time, so I'll keep it short. We all know what it was like during COVID when lockdown first hit. We were all left on our own for the most part. We're stuck inside with obnoxious family members. I was all alone. I had lost all 3 of my partners. Come back to that in a moment. My roommate moved out. It was just me and my dog for months and months. At the time, I was working hard on a new educational workshop for my nonprofit that was covering a lot of things involving mysticism and queer identities, gender identities, and sexual identities throughout human history, spanning thousands of years. And in my research, I've discovered there's a lot here that I really want to learn more about for personal reasons. And given that I had so much time during lockdown, sure enough, I fell down that witchcraft rabbit hole and never turned back. So again, COVID took so much away from me. I had next to nothing at the time. I was flat broke, no love interest or romantic partners anymore, didn't know what was happening with my life and, state of the world at the time. So I threw everything I had into my craft, witchcraft. And one might say, even though I didn't know it at the time, I was very much practicing chaos magic. Now, given everything you've heard from the 2 talks before mine tonight, you might think chaos is something that is somewhat easy to navigate, relatively easy to navigate. Hard to understand, but let's say it's a sort of power in the universe that you don't really know how to tap into. Chaos magic takes full advantage of that, though. When I was first getting into witchcraft, I, of course, didn't really know what I was doing. I was trying everything. But when it comes to witchcraft, really, it's all about your intuition, going with your gut. What resonates most with you? And as I was reading into all the things I was reading into for this workshop, I felt a pull towards Hermeticism. And I'll touch on that for a moment. I already mentioned it's thousands of years old, comes from ancient Africa and ancient Egypt, but it's really kind of the birthplace for a lot of beliefs that we see today in Catholicism, in Islam, in Hinduism, things like that. Kabbalah, a lot of it can be traced back to Hermeticism. Sorry, what is the next slide? Origins of chaos magic, right. So I'll lead into this now. But I didn't really know what to expect tapping into this new belief system I discovered. But I had lots of time on my hands, thought may as well give it a go, see what happens. And sure enough, I put those beliefs and practices, beliefs into practice, and managed to manifest my way into a lot of wealth out of my country, over here to Ireland, where I was working hard and setting up Cafe Bloodthirsty, another story for another day. And it really it really brought me, I received the kind of life that I was looking for a long time by tapping into witchcraft. Now, I have since left chaos magic behind. I'll come back to that again soon, because I did find my way with Hermeticism. It's a very structured and easy to follow, even though the origins are kind of obscure, belief system that doesn't require too much from you. You don't need to make any potions or wave any magic wands. It all happens up here in the mind. It's called mental transmutation. But I want to talk about chaos magic specifically because if it weren't for all the chaos that was happening in my life at the time, I would not have found my way there. Now, chaos magic is really about, like I've been describing, tapping into the inherent chaos around you. Has everyone written down their desires, by the way? Okay. Before I delve into that, let's go back to our chaos magic activity for a moment. Take a look at your napkins, at what you've written down. And if you see any repeating letters, if there's a letter or a word with 2 M's, 2 L's, whether in a row or not, make sure there's only one of those left. So if you wrote down the name of your would-be lover, Emma, cross out one of those M's, so it's just E-M-A, as an example. So
If it's 3 words, then
if it's 3 of the same letter, just leave one.
if it's 3 words,
3
and the
words?
letter-
You only want one single
the
letter.
repeats
Yeah.
in 2 different forms, but not in the same order.
Yes,
So does that mean there should only be one of every letter on the sheet?
that's right. No repeats. What was I talking about? Sorry? No repeats of the same word. Well, did you write the same word twice? Yeah, there should be only one of each letter on that napkin. Yeah. All right, so I've lost my train of thought now. All right, so chaos magic. Tis the theme of the night. Okay. Yeah, so chaos magic. I was saying I would not have found my way to where I am today if it weren't for, my beginnings with chaos magic. And so what chaos magic is, in a nutshell, because I don't have time to get into the details right now, is really leaning into the concept of chaos itself. It's about accepting the fact that, much as was illustrated in the previous talk, we don't have much control over what happens to us in the grand scheme of things, in the vast universe and all the nuances in our everyday interactions or things that happen from a butterfly in Brazil. So it's leaning into that and understanding that you don't have that kind of control. So what you're doing right now, which we'll finish up later after the talk, is a form of chaos magic called sigil magic. It is about using the beliefs of chaos magic to manifest your greatest desires, but in a way that is beyond your control. You have no real say, no real input into what the universe offers you, whatever gifts it may provide you with. And it's also a way of, it's a good way to get into witchcraft in the first place because it allows you the freedom to dabble with anything you come across, whatever resonates with you, as I was saying earlier. If you find yourself going down some rabbit hole and read it about tarot or about Kabbalah or yoga and chakras, and you think, oh, this really clicks with me, it makes sense. And you keep following that path and you adopt that into your personal practice and you make it part of who you are, your identity, your everyday lived experience. That's chaos magic. You can adopt so many different things from so many different belief systems across the world, throughout human history. There's a wealth of them out there to tap into. And with the internet, it's not hard to find your way or to find something that's appealing to you. So that's how I started. I just was hungry for knowledge, went down that rabbit hole. I started soaking up everything I can find, eventually found my way to Hermeticism. Now, I'm going to throw in a quick caveat here because this is where it gets dangerous. Because those rabbit holes aren't always so pleasant. You might find yourself going down a path you don't really want to go down. You might not know at the time that you don't want to go down that path. So again, practicing witchcraft truthfully is about knowing who you are. So tapping into chaos magic, putting that into practice is a fantastic way to understand who you are, what your beliefs are, what your specific desires are, really understanding who you are as an individual, your challenges, etc. And the more you go down that rabbit hole, the more you study and read and practice, the better you will know yourself. This is an old Greek proverb, by the way, at least a summation of it, know thyself. And the more you know who you are and what you want and what struggles, what challenges you have in your life, what struggles may lie ahead, the more fulfilling witchcraft can be for you. And with chaos magic, you have the freedom to experiment with anything that resonates with you. Now, the caveat being, this can lead to some very unethical practices. And this is why I don't really vibe with chaos magic anymore, because I know better now. I've done my research, I've done my reading. I'm a very studious witch. And I found that chaos magic can be very problematic. It has originated in England in the 1970s. I forget the name of the individual now who really spurred this whole movement. But it really found prominence in the 70s. It's kind of the punk rock of the witchcraft world because it doesn't really want to adhere to any rules, any systems, any rituals. It just wants to do whatever it wants. Chaos magicians, as they call themselves, they play by their own rules. They don't like to follow anyone else's guidelines. They just do whatever appeals to them. Now, the way it's problematic is because that can lead to you as a newly identified chaos magician or chaos practitioner getting involved in things that really you have no business getting involved in. As an example, I'm sure everyone here is familiar with things like dream catchers. Those are widely available. We all know dream catchers, right? Okay, I'm not just, okay. I'm sure most of you know, dream catchers originate from Native Americans, right? It's a symbol. It's I forget the word now. A tool, I guess, that is very sacred to them. And the fact that it's so widely available across the world for people to just adorn their doorways with or hang around their necks with is really, it really takes away the meaning and the power of that tool and that symbol. So if you're going to go out there and get involved in chaos magic, do so responsibly. This is where my political side comes in, I'm sorry. Do so responsibly. Be respectful of where these things originate from. Take some time to understand their roots, their meanings, the culture and communities behind them. Because those things hold power. These symbols, these chants, these rituals that have been celebrated throughout human history for tens of thousands of years have meaning and story and history. And to just throw that all away because you saw a cute little charm at a, tarot shop one day is really disrespectful and rids this object of any kind of spiritual power it could have. Same as another example, burning white sage. I don't know if you've heard of smudging, where people take things like bundles of sage and burn them and shake them around the room to cleanse the space. Very respectful practice, but also give some thought to where you're getting the sage from. Is it from the people who grew it, who know the land where it comes from, who know what the plant means to them and their community? They know the history behind it? Or did you just pick it up at some, I don't know, another bookshop somewhere, willy-nilly without giving much thought to it? These things matter when it comes to magic, when it comes to witchcraft, when it comes to the occult. So give serious thought to where you find these implements and how you use them. Has everyone crossed out all the letters on their napkin that don't belong? Okay. We're going to finish up with a bit of your chaos magic right here. Now, another very important lesson when it comes to witchcraft is to move with intention. When it comes to your craft and really your day-to-day life, everything you do, everything you say, everything you think should be done so with intention, should not be accidental. Yes, we are all subject to the whims of the universe and chaos in general. That's why we're here tonight. But it's about recognizing that you still have control, even as a chaos magician. You still have some control in your life. You still have the ability to think about what you want, recognize what stands in your way, and realize that you can overcome it, maybe with a bit of the magic we're doing right now. So what you're all engaged in right now is a little something called sigil magic, which is very popular in chaos magic practice. If you've all crossed off all the letters that don't belong and you have your napkins at the ready, does anyone feel comfortable belting out their greatest desire? Or are we all keeping it private? No one? Dog. I would love a dog. No one else? Interesting.
New house.
New house is a good one, yes. There's a reason you're all belting this out now. It's going to add to the effect, I promise you. But if you're not comfortable doing so, that's fine too. Okay, so now you're going to turn over your napkin and you're going to use these letters that remain, the ones you haven't crossed out. And you're going to create your own sigil on each of these napkins using a marker or a pen. Maybe someone has to pass these around again. Arrange these letters in any way you desire. Put that chaos to use. Use your intention. Move with intention. And create some kind of symbol of your own unique design that's going to represent the very thing you wrote on the reverse of that napkin. Of course, if you're a non-believer, then don't bother. But I can tell you, it works. And as you're doing that, I will leave you with one small anecdote before I say this. As another proof of concept, after the COVID story, you should all know that a year ago, less than a year ago, I was navigating what is likely the worst year of my life. I was flat broke, I was homeless, I was sick and cold and hungry, barely making ends meet, barely surviving. In fact, I was giving strong consideration to living out the last days of my life last year. But I had kind of fallen off of witchcraft for a while until I found my way back a few months ago and decided, you know what? I really should get back into my practice. I really should move with intention again. I really should start living the same things that I've been teaching for years now and rekindle my passion for what brought me to Ireland in the first place, what brought me to where I wanted to be, and removed all these obstacles that were standing in my way so swiftly. That was maybe 3 months ago. And I have to tell you, since getting back into my craft, since doing my meditation again, doing my tarot readings again, this is the happiest I've ever been in my life. 3 months ago, I was struggling with anxiety, depression, suicidal ideation, all the other trigger warnings. But now I could not be happier. I'm stood in front of the greatest partner I've ever had, Alex, right here. We're living our, living the dream right now in Latvia, doing all kinds of things that I can't talk about right now because this is not the time for that. But anyway, I'm just letting you know that magic certainly works. I can attest to that. And with that said, have you all finished writing your sigils and your napkins? Good to go? Okay, I'll give you all a moment, but this is how you're going to end this sigil magic practice tonight. For those of you who did not feel comfortable belting out your desires on your napkin, think about them for the rest of the night, but only the rest of the night. Before you leave this castle tonight, you're going to find an open flame, whether that's in a fireplace or over a match or a lighter, and you're going to burn those napkins and never think about these things ever again. And trust that the universe will bring them to you Let the chaos lead the universe to you so that you may manifest your own greatest desires by incorporating chaos magic. Thank you, and blessed be.